If your intuition feels confusing, overwhelming, or like it keeps changing, this episode is for you. You are not broken, but you probably are not as clear as you think you are, because most people are not struggling to receive intuition. They're struggling to hold it without reacting to it. And if you don't learn how to do that, you will keep second guessing yourself, no matter how intuitive you are. I'm Kate the Brave. I'm a psychic medium, intuitive mentor, and energetic practitioner. This is a space where we talk about intuition, spiritual work, and what it actually looks like to live this in your real life in a way that is grounded, honest, and practical. Let's get into it. In this last episode, we talked about the difference between your intuition and your nervous system, why your messages can come in feeling confusing, overwhelming, or even create a sense of panic. Today, I want to take that further, because understanding what's happening is one thing, but if you don't change how you respond to it, you will stay in the same loop. One of the biggest things I see is this sense of urgency. You get an intuitive hit or what feels like one, and it's strong, so strong. It's exciting, overwhelming, and you feel like you need to act on it immediately. I need to be very clear here. Urgency does not automatically mean clarity. If you allow it to, you will build your life off of reactions instead of actual alignment. I will give you an example. This podcast. I started getting hits for this podcast years ago, 3 years, really. And when it came in, I jumped. I didn't know what I wanted it to be. I didn't know what I wanted it to sound like. I hadn't even thought about doing a podcast before this moment came in, but I started anyway, full force. And I'm glad I did. I wouldn't change that. I would not undo that, but I would slow down next time. I would listen more. I would give myself space to receive more information instead of forcing something into place. Because what happened? I started the podcast and then I stopped. It wasn't consistent. We weren't sticking to a theme. It was really all over the place. Things weren't lining up. Schedules didn't work. My co-host left and I left with it. I didn't know what to do. And even when I tried to come back, it did not feel right. It didn't feel like me. It didn't feel like I had found my voice yet. So I waited. I received. I let things sit and grow. And now we're here. And this is the part I really want you to hear. If something is truly meant for you, it's not going anywhere. I know it is such a cheesy phrase. We hear it all the time. It really is true. If something is truly meant for you, it's not going anywhere. It might look different than what you expect, but if you keep reacting instead of responding, you will delay yourself over and over again. There's a difference between avoidance and space. But the urgency that if I don't do it right now, I'm going to lose it, that's usually not your intuition. That's your system being activated. There are rare times when your intuition is telling you jump right this second. In those times, if you practice responding instead of reacting, you will know and be able to feel the difference. Because your intuition is actually pretty steady. It's not chaotic. It's not rushing you. It's not trying to overwhelm you. But your nervous system, especially when it's dysregulated, that can take a piece of information and turn it into something that feels urgent or intense. You start to override yourself. And this is where people start to lose trust within them because everything starts to feel the same. Your intuition starts to feel like your fear. Your fear starts to feel like your intuition. Your thoughts start looping. And suddenly you don't know what to trust because you have been overriding yourself for so long. This is when you start pulling cards over and over and over again, asking multiple people the same question, hoping someone out there gives you the answer that you want. It's panic, desperation. And over time, that creates a pattern where you stop listening to yourself, not because intuition isn't there, but because you've trained yourself not to listen to it. I see this a lot in relationship readings. But honestly, it shows up anywhere that there's emotional attachment. For me, it showed up financially. I remember asking the same questions over and over. Are we going to get out of this? Are things going to change? Are we going to be okay? We've all been there. We're human. Sometimes it's smaller than that. Sometimes you're texting someone and something feels off. And instead of sitting with that, you immediately go, no, I'm overthinking. Or you can feel a clear no in your body and you say yes anyway. Every time you override yourself like that, you weaken trust. So here's the truth. Usually the simplest answer is the real answer. If you're receiving mixed messages most of the time, it's not 10 different energies talking to you. It's different parts of you. Your intuition is usually neutral. Your fear is loud and protective. Your desires are hopeful and attached. And if you haven't learned how to separate those, they will all feel the exact same. So instead of trying to fix that by getting more information, slow it down. That's the work. So here are a few tools. Tool 1, you do not have to act on every intuitive hit. You can let it sit. If it's real for you, it will come back. Your spirit team is not subtle when something matters. They will repeat it in different ways, different places, different timing until you understand it. It's like the same message with a different font. So you can pause. You can say, let me feel into this. You have autonomy here. You don't have to react to everything you receive. Tool 2, regulate first, interpret second. We're still slowing down. We haven't sped up yet. Slow down, drink water, step outside, ground yourself, because clarity comes from a regulated system, not a reactive one. ground. Think about ways that you feel grounded. It is different for every person. Not all of us meditate by sitting down quietly for 30 minutes at a time. Some of us meditate by sweeping or doing dishes or listening to music. Figure out what grounds you. Tool 3, ask better questions. Ask harder questions. Instead of, what does this mean? Will this be fixed? You can ask pinpointed questions. What is my very next grounded step forward? What fear am I not seeing that stands in my way? Your relationship with your intuition is a conversation, so engage with it. And please write things down. I still go through journals from 4 to 7 years ago, and I'm still receiving messages from them. Write things down. Because when you come back to it from a grounded place, you can actually see clearly. It is so helpful to write it down. You will start to decipher and feel where these different thoughts are coming from, whether it is intuition, fear, anxiety, confusion. Tool 4, ask for help fearlessly, because this is where a lot of people get stuck. Being afraid to ask for help will keep you in confusion longer than anything else. We have a community. You have a community that is here to listen to you, support you, and love you. Do not be afraid to ask for help. And if you don't have that community, if you open yourself up to receiving the help that you actually need or the guidance that you actually need, a teacher will appear for you. When I was learning how to actually have autonomy over my gifts, I got a mentor because I realized really quickly I could receive information, but I didn't know how to interpret it clearly. I didn't always know what was mine, what was fear, what was coming through. Having someone reflect that back to me changed everything. There's a difference between outsourcing your power and being supported while you're learning how to use it. If you're constantly asking people what to do, that will disconnect you from yourself. But if you never allow yourself to be guided, you will stay in your own blind spot. You're not meant to figure everything out alone. Ask for help, ask for support, ask for perspective, and then come back to yourself. Because at the end of the day, you have autonomy in all of this. I don't think that is stressed enough. Your intuition is guidance, not control. You don't have to act on everything you receive. You get to choose. And this is the shift. Trusting your intuition is not about being right all the time. I'm still wrong sometimes. It's about being in a relationship with yourself. It's about knowing. Even if I don't get this perfect, I trust myself enough to navigate it. So if things feel confusing, it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. Most of the time, it means you need to slow down, breathe, regulate your system, get grounded, and get clear. Because not everything you feel is your intuition. And not everything your intuition tells you requires immediate action. If you realize that you've been second guessing yourself or feeling overwhelmed by what you're receiving, this is exactly the work we go into inside of Expand on Patreon. We don't just talk about it, we practice it. Thanks for being here. I'll talk to you next week. Bye bye.